Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, today I want to respond to a couple of you guys' comments. I usually do these videos probably like once a week, or I try to do these videos once a week where I put you guys' comments up and I actually respond to them. The anime only is out there if you guys don't necessarily want to be spoiled in regards to manga content. I'm most likely going to be talking about some manga content. And one thing that I do want to do before I start the video, someone told me that I should ask you guys to subscribe. So if you guys aren't necessarily subscribed, you guys should subscribe. I don't necessarily do it, but hey, it's the first time for everything. Alright, so the first comment that I'm going to be responding to is going to be a comment from my last video. This guy XIfer basically said, I see Boruto using his Jougan to control Momoshiki and still have access to his power. Alright, now this right here is going to be something very interesting. This is something that I kind of talked about before in the past. One of the reasons why I'm kind of uneasy about this idea is because Momoshiki himself seen that Boruto actually had a Jougan. If Momoshiki understood that there was a possibility that Boruto could have potentially like stopped the actual resurrection of Momoshiki himself because of the Jougan, he'd probably be a little bit more hesitant to actually take over Boruto and probably try to angle for Naruto or Sasuke in that particular situation. But now here's the other thing. The other angle is that Momoshiki didn't necessarily have a choice to actually try to implant Naruto or Sasuke with the Karma Seal up until Momoshiki's actual death, or he's not necessarily technically dead because he's immortal at this particular point, but you guys get my point. When he actually died, he was extremely confident. Going into that last Rasengan, he thought that there was no possible way that Boruto could actually kill him. So because of that, it pretty much limited Momoshiki's options to actually give out his Karma Seal. And in fact, people from the Kata organization actually thought that Momoshiki gave his Karma Seal to either Sasuke or Naruto. Boruto didn't even come into their equation to the point where the Kata organization didn't even investigate Boruto for having a Karma Seal. So when it comes to Boruto's Jougan, it's like a good and a bad thing that we don't really know a lot about it. The bad part about it is that right now a lot of people kind of forgot about the Jougan. It's kind of in the background. Some people are even calling it filler. But the good thing about the Jougan is that the Boruto writers can mold it to do damn near anything. At this particular point, I wouldn't be too surprised if that right there is going to be the main reason that Momoshiki does not take over Boruto. And also I wouldn't be too surprised if that right there is going to be the reason why Boruto ends up being the strongest character in all of the series. On the other side of the spectrum, thinking that Momoshiki understands that the Jougan isn't necessarily going to affect anything, Momoshiki might have specifically gave the Karma Seal to Boruto because he had the Jougan. One of the things that we did see before in the past is the fact that Momoshiki, right before he did the Rasengan, seen that Boruto had a Jougan. And now I'm going a little tinfoil hat right now. What we did see from the Boruto manga is that Ishiki Otsutsuki portrayed the quote-unquote Otsutsuki god as having a Jougan, and the background was just many Jougans. So the Jougan in theory could possibly be the strongest dojutsu that there is, and Momoshiki might have understood that the best way for him to gain a lot of power is to actually resurrect himself into the body of Boruto and gain a Jougan through a natural means. But either way, I think we can all agree that the Jougan definitely needs to make a return, and I personally believe it's going to have a very big impact on Boruto's overall fate. Basically the same thing that Toneri said back in the day. Alright, so another comment, Gamer God said, if more Karma Seals were to be given to people in Boruto, who do you think will get them? Alright, now I think this right here is going to be a very interesting question. I think the first people that we do have to guess would have to be Naruto and Sasuke, just because of the sheer fact that they'd be very good vessels. I mean, their bodies itself carries a lot of chakra, they carry a lot of strength, and what we've seen from Naruto in the past, a lot of people, just their overall bodies aren't necessarily built to handle that much chakra, that much stress. And I think Naruto and Sasuke, because we already seen them handle that much chakra, that much stress, are very good vessels for that. And not only that, earlier on in the video I did kind of make a point that the COD organization themselves kind of thought that either Naruto or Sasuke had the Karma Seal from Momoshiki. Turns out that it was Boruto. Now another person that I think could possibly be a very good vessel, I'd probably say Mitsuki, because he's a synthetic human being, and it's pretty much because of the fact that he could possibly mold his body to pretty much be anything that he wants. So in regards to actually being sustainable, I think that Mitsuki would definitely be one of the more sustainable vessels for an Otsutsuki to give his Karma Seal to. Now, do I think it's probably going to happen? Probably not. And there is also that theory that Mitsuki also has some sort of cells from Toneri. If you guys aren't too familiar with that theory, I'll give you guys a quick rundown right now. First things first, Mitsuki looks a lot like Toneri, and it's definitely possible for Orochimaru to gather a little bit of Toneri's cells from the moon actually crashing to Earth. We understand that Mitsuki was created right around that time, so the timelines definitely match up. And also, Mitsuki's Sage Mode looks a lot like Toneri's Tensei God Mode. Alright, so the next comment comes from Bardox TNS. This guy pretty much says, how did he read the Otsutsuki documents if he isn't an Otsutsuki? This right here pretty much comes from Amado giving the excuse upon how he actually knows a lot about the Otsutsuki clan. Amado pretty much says that he read some documents that came from Jigen's office, but again, this guy has a very, very good point. This guy really seems suspicious. How can he read the Otsutsuki documents if he himself is not an Otsutsuki member? How can he decipher it? You know, one thing that I do want to point out, I think it's absolutely hilarious how we are now finding a lot of things funny about Amado ever since the focus has been shifted from a lot of the battles that were happening in the Boruto manga. For example, this information was actually displayed, I think, about a year ago, almost over a year ago, and now we're starting to find things funny with it. But this guy is absolutely correct. I mean, that right there is extremely suspicious. One thing that we do understand is that even when it comes to the Uchiha clan, if you didn't have a Sharingan, a lot of things that they did right, you can't actually read and decipher. So how in the world can normal human beings understand an Otsutsuki member's paperwork? And I know I'm speaking for everybody when I say this. Every single day, Amado is looking more and more suspect. And the last comment comes from Solitaire Boy 1. He basically says a theory from someone on Twitter. I think Amado is a refugee from another planet that was destroyed by the Otsutsuki. He's the last remaining survivor and wants revenge on them. This would explain his superior technology as well. Alright, this right here is super refreshing because of course over the past, like, I don't know, week or like past a month, there's just been a bunch of Amado's evil theories, and I think this right here is definitely a very good one as well. First things first, if the Otsutsuki members are probably out there as well, I think there are probably going to be other planets and other dimensions that have other people in those as well. Another great theory that I did here is the fact that the Otsutsuki clan possibly has a rival clan as well, which is probably why they want to gather up a bunch of chakra, not just only for selfish reasons of individuals wanting to become the Otsutsuki god. But if this right here was actually the case, I mean, I think at this particular point, after he did kind of betray Ishiki Otsutsuki and kind of betray Jigen and the Kata organization, he should have actually told Naruto and Sasuke that while they were all right there. And now don't get me wrong, Amado did divulge a lot of information about Ishiki Otsutsuki, the Otsutsuki clan in general, and just all about the Kata organization insiders and indoings. But I think at this particular point, Amado would definitely need to tell them a lot of things, especially now since he's just literally in the hidden leaf fields. But of course, that right there might just be something that he tells later on. We do know that Amado is a little bit facetious when it comes to actually divulging a lot of information. Now, if this theory right here was actually true, that Amado came from a different planet, it would definitely make sense that the only way that Amado could get to this planet right here is through advanced technology that that other planet would then have. So him having the knowledge to make a bunch of elite cyborgs would definitely make sense. Now, another thing that I do want to point out that's kind of an aside to this, I mean, as I said, Amado said that the information that he got to build these cyborgs came from other villages and other scientists out there. Now, this right here could possibly mean that there are other nations out there with elite cyborgs that can actually rival Naruto and Sasuke. And in fact, there might be some other Kages out there that actually modified their bodies that low-key can actually rival against Naruto and Sasuke, which would then actually be insane. But now another comment, or multiple comments that I did get about this, and this is going to be something that I'm going to try to fix over the course of me doing videos. And I try to do this all the time, but I don't know, I keep reverting back. People keep telling me to slow down when I do my commentary. I naturally talk very fast, so I'm going to try my best to kind of slow it down so you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying. But let me know what you guys think about these comments in the comment section below. I'm going to try to get one of these videos out every single week where I show you guys the comment, I try to respond to it in the video. But let me know what you guys think about it. It's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.